Yes.
Hello. Okay.
Okay, maybe you want to. Who are you? What do you do? Where are you from?
So we'll present Idol, but first just a short introduction from us. My name is Blaz, Pavlica, I'm from Slovenia, and I work as a web developer, but artistically I'm a DJ, music producer, and a lot of times I just say audiovisual artist because I did many projects that fall into different categories. And lately what I've been doing most is like this is, I guess you could call it a web art or something, and also like live coding with music with Super Collider.
Okay, hi, I'm Florencia Alonso, but my artistic name is Flor de Fuego. Yeah, I do many things. I would say I like to identify myself as someone that is doing digital craft work because my background is visual arts, and since I started to work more with digital environments, I notice how much work and how much craft it takes to build something. So in general, I'm focused in doing live performances, also with programming, with live coding, also with a lot with the browser and the internet. I also work in a space in Dortmund, in Germany. It's a media lab, and there I'm mostly as a creative coder, but we also do consulting for artists, so I'm also a teacher. I collaborate with software from live coding that is called Hybrid, that is like for doing live visuals, and yeah, I'm a curious person. Yeah, and I was working with Blaz here for this project during since last year, I would say. Yeah, maybe we talk about a bit of what is Idol.
Yeah, or yeah, I guess that's a good point to start. So the first idea for it was that it's a platform for people that cannot leave their house for whatever reason, to have also the possibility to visit a gallery and see art. But we didn't want to make it just a gallery with paintings on the walls. We wanted to have an element of interactivity and also connecting all of the people that come into it.
Yeah, so the project initially was an idea from Gisle and Maite from Piksel, and they started this project with Valentin Cortez and Ivan Abreu from Mexico, and they developed this virtual world, and the first aim goal was to make this multiplayer platform, such as it used to be Mozilla Hubs, which doesn't exist anymore. But the idea was also to make this as an open source space, so everything that is researched in here, it's public research, public documentation. So firstly, the idea was to have this 3D environment, and where we came for this project was also to add like interactive things, but this collective experience on the 3D environment. So what we did last year, I will move around the world a bit, was creating this, making Hybrid, the software that I mentioned before, to be able to be here. So maybe I show also Hybrid because it makes sense. So this is Hybrid, it's like on the browser also, and you have like many examples, such as this one. but the idea is that so this is also WebGL based, so you can program and create visuals on the fly. But what we are using here is like Hydra functions in order to create visuals. So every time you click on the capacitors, you can have your Hydra sketch. And there is also this feature that we added that is like this displacement, 3D like displacement. And it's also reacting to your position from where you're standing. So when you're like around here, it's like, but at some point it's also a bit flat, or it turns a bit off depending which kind of visuals you have. We also were thinking on the design of the visual, so it can also have either a continuation with which one you click before or the next one, and also what could be interesting for this kind of displacement.
Yeah, and maybe a bit more technical, but it's an important part, that whoever is in the space, when you click on one of these capacitors, the message goes to the server and then is resent to all the pages that are open, so everyone will see the same patch. Because of randomness, it won't be exactly the same, but there is still this shared experience.
Yeah.
And also, when you come to the web page, there's a random color assigned to you, and so the color that's used to create the first patch is of that color. So it's the same, but it's also different for everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah, good. Just because I'm talking about this, and we wanted it to be like accessible for everyone, but because it's a 3D world and the street is pretty big, so it takes a while to load and then run. So it's not exactly accessible to everyone. It doesn't work very well on some weaker devices, especially on phones or like laptops that have integrated graphics. But for that, we also just recently added a phone page. So if you add phone at the end, there's another page that opens, and if you click in that page, you send a random message, like clicking on one of these, and you also change this. And this was used for, it's actually this QR code if you want to scan it now. And this was,
here.
yeah.
So when I'm clicking, in theory, yeah, I'm changing the visuals here. Because also, I mean, we try to, this is of course it's a work in progress, and it's also like we for sure have our knowledge from beforehand, but we learn new things and we try to rethink and try to find ways of how to think what is accessibility, what is like a shared experience, and where Blaz and I were working like a bit with WebSockets, and it was also interesting for us nowadays to also say, okay, but it can also be something interactive that you can work on the phone, but you don't really need to, be on the space with your phone, but you can have some influence on that space. And this is, one of the first ideas that came up. This is also part of the new ideas that we had because of the limitations that we still find, because you cannot run it with every computer.
That's why it also has only 2 Hydra walls, because more than 2 gets very slow on a regular laptop. And one more feature is because Piksel Studio here has IoT lights, so all of these. They are accessible over the internet, and while that could have been done in any other way, we also just added it in code in here. So it's possible to send from the code, if you go to the lights.
Yeah.
It's possible to send a message, and then the server sends a few messages to.
This one?
Just show,
This one. Okay.
So. Oh,
It's a complicated keyboard.
yes.
It's in German, but what you see is not what it is, because it's in German, but it's in English. It's a German keyboard, but it's in English, so it's a bit annoying, like when you
Changed to inner width.
What? Oh. And so this message would go to the server, and then on the server there's a couple of messages that do it for all the lights. So it's a sort of interface, and it's something that was made for future possibilities and future artists that might come to work on it, so they don't have to start from the bottom. And it's just one of the possibilities. But yeah, if anyone finds this interesting,
That's also the projection. I mean, what is also interesting about also this idea of working on the internet is like everything like it's a little bit modular. So there's also this monitor for the projection that in theory it's also like showing the visuals.
in practice.
Yeah.
But you would have to know is anyone on the page?
Or I can change it here.
So if we change the visuals now, yeah. The idea was that this could then be projected here, and it would be kind of a connection between the real world and the virtual world. And one fun thing that we did the first time is that we set up a computer to have idle open here, and so you would see if someone went into the virtual idle. So it was kind of a window into the virtual world. And there was an idea, because there are webcams here, there was an idea to add that webcam to the virtual world to kind of make a window into this space to kind of connect them even more. But it is possible, but it was a bit too hard to do in the time that we had.
Yeah, I think like every time we were like working in this project, we were talking about the gallery or the space, and we needed to clarify, are we talking about the real space or the virtual one? Because it started to be like also a bit confusing about this kind of like duality of spaces. But I think now is even more layers.
I just opened it, but you can continue. So if you're interested in it, it's hosted on Codeberg. It's public, you can look at the code. You cannot just push, but yeah, if you're interested, get in contact, and it's open to collaboration.
Yeah, maybe also like this is also something that came up now as an idea, but we are still developing and it's still not working. So it's we are creating like also like kind of annoying UI that is like all the time random buttons, and this will control the lights. And we were also thinking about like different kind of names for like we like this mode, light on, the boring one is when lights go off. Yeah, and this kind of thing that this is overlapping, that it became as a glitch in the beginning, but it's kind of interesting because why it should also be something that is like 100% useful or accurate in the sense of the rules of what like as a normative should be established. Maybe it's also related to what you were saying today, Vitotas, about being like working with the engineering and being criticized by engineers about the things that you do, because in a way also after all we are using programming for these things, but we are using programming in a very experimental way, and I think this is also like something really important. I mean, I'm not saying just about programming, but the role of art in itself, like using things in a different way. And I was having a talk with some colleagues from the university about it, like, and also with you in conversations to reappropriate the word hacking in a way, because we do things that are like creative, but in a different way, using like tools that exist, but in a non-normative way. And in order also to, bring other possibilities, new ideas, new perspectives of usage of words, how we perceive things. And I think in the end it's a lot about that. And maybe, do you want to also say the thing, the guy that wrote to you?
Oh yeah, we got a contact from a Mikal, who also has done performances in Mozilla Hubs, and he showed an interest to work on it and to either add stuff or something. So yeah, hopefully that will happen.
Because also, after all, this is also a project that is open on collaboration, and I think it's also maybe like what is also interesting for me about the programming side against the art side, like, oh, this is my artwork, don't copy my stuff, and then like the programming world is like, yeah, here is my repository, take my documentation, what is like also what this one has to learn from the other, and I think it's also interesting in a way. Yeah.
Maybe just for the end, what is fun, if you had fun here at the Piksel studio, you can go into the kitchen. And
it's much more clean there.
Yes, and you can relive all the fun moments we had in the kitchen and also in the phone. You can also go to the toilet.
Which is also maybe empty, toilet.
Yeah. But yeah, I also like to watch it from this side. It also looks good from this side. But yeah, any questions? Yeah.
And where do you want to bring it, or what's the kind of what would you like to add to it? Because I feel like it's an empty canvas that can go in so many different directions. You've got Hydra in it now, but there could be like musical instruments that you could play. People could come together and play music together.
There is a musical instrument or sequencer. Are your speakers on?
Yeah, but maybe it's like with the sound of. Can I check?
So this is what Ivan and Malizina added. It's like totems, and you can. Oh, I think it's because I clicked on stop. Click on the.
Yeah, but also I think it should go here.
But
Or
try to
maybe
click on
this
them
one.
again on top. Okay. It does work, it's just not coming out. Maybe because you're on the HDMI, it's going to.
Yeah, but I can also make it like with the speaker here.
So this is already there. There could be more.
Yeah. These are virtual instruments
Yeah.
that are created taking the tidal cycles. Did you explain already? Did you say before? Okay.
About them? Or?
About this, that is based in tidal cycles. So actually it's also like basing, like saying functions. So if you know how to play, you can actually play something with it.
Yeah.
And yeah, one idea that also Mikhail said when he was talking about that you could connect the lights here and make lights in the virtual space, so that if you are changing the lights, you're actually doing it in both spaces. But yeah, I guess the world's your oyster. But yeah, if you ask what I would like to see is that there will be more of these things that connect the virtual and the real space, so that it would really maybe for someone that cannot come here, maybe he could go here and feel at least a little bit of something.
Yeah. The ball that we were playing yesterday, this ball with the emergency lights.
Yeah.
I mean, like initially was, to be an instrument, for example. Imagine that you have a ball there, you have or something, no, a ball. That you have a physical instrument or physical object,
Yeah.
and then you have another physical object, and then you can do, if you do something there, it's reflecting in the object here.
Yeah.
Now we can do with the IoT, with the Internet of Things, no?
Yeah.
With the IoT devices, but yeah, maybe no, something more physical, something that you can touch, no? That will be super cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I think there's so much stuff you could do with it. I get a couple of pints into me and I'll be talking all night.
One really cool thing is because we know we have the positions of each avatar as you see, you went out now, but before we saw your avatar there.
But there's someone here.
There's someone there.
I
Okay.
think it's my turn.
Yeah. And so there could be something that you would in some way show that avatar here in the real space, or even maybe show have some tracking and then show the real people here in the virtual space.
Yeah.
Any more questions? If not, I think we made it in time, kind of.
23 minutes.
Yeah, with questions. Yeah, okay, so, yeah, but also, of course, we are open to continue talking about it or other things after.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks for listening.